Hey, I'm Omari Akil, and I'm back to bring you episode 5 of The Breakdown. The Breakdown is a show about game design and the inspirations behind it. The hot new game we're covering this week is Cindr, a push-your-luck dragon dating dice game from Smirk&Dagger. I've talked to the designers and developer Harold Michaelides, Ben Walker, and Kurt Covert about how it all came together, and now it's time to share what I learned with you. Now, before we start talking about game design, I do want to give you a quick overview of the gameplay. Well, first, your main objective in Cindr is going to be the first player to reach 21 love points. After you've selected a dragon to date, checked your compatibility, and pulled a location card, it's time to try and earn love points. And you do that by rolling as many hearts on the dice as you can without rolling so many flames that it gets you burned. The game includes 12 dice in total of 3 different colors, each color representing a different level of compatibility. There's a set of player cards that are used with dry erase markers to create your personal dating profile. There's also a set of dragon dating profile cards, of course the date location cards, and a set of second chance cards, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Now that's pretty much it for the overview of the components. Now we can start talking about the design a little more. Now, the original idea came to Harold and Ben almost 3 years ago at a gaming convention back in 2017. They were talking about making a cute and romantic dating game, and they thought that dating dragons might be a fun and unique option to explore. Now, the next day, that idea and eventually a rough prototype made its way to Kurt over at Smirk&Dagger when they decided they would work on this project together. With a game that's focused on dating, Harold mentioned from the very beginning that he wanted risk-taking and luck to be important factors in the gameplay, especially since those things have an impact on dating in real life. And a push-your-luck dice game just fit very nicely into that concept. Now, they continued down this path, bringing in more real-life influence, especially those relevant to modern dating. The game's title, Cindr, spelled C-I-N-D-R, is a play on 2 popular and well-known dating apps, Tinder and Grindr. Also in the game, the Welp app location cards are formatted to resemble the popular business and restaurant review site, Yelp. Now, the way you start the game by creating a dating app profile is also very reminiscent of our current dating app world. Now, functionally, this asks each player to select attributes from 4 different categories that are going to be used later to determine the compatibility with dragons. Now, Kurt was inspired to add some fantasy art to these profile cards, as well as blank spaces for name, pronouns, and likes and dislikes. And this was intentional. It was a way to help players try out different characters and different play styles with whatever identity they decide to create. These additional details are purely for flavor, and they don't have any mechanical effect on what happens during the game. But I can see how they might have a meaningful impact on how players choose to play the game. Now, gameplay begins with players choosing which dragons to date from the dating pool on their turn. The design for this was actually inspired by deck building games like Ascension, where the few cards you have to choose from come out of a single deck randomly and are replaced as the gameplay progresses. Cindr adds on a tiny twist to this mechanic, letting you swipe left twice per turn, which cycles through the deck if your options aren't so appealing. It's important to note here that you're choosing a dragon based on their dating profile, which is essentially a name, a title, an image, and a few sentences that are basically a vague description of what their personality might be. These were written by the designers in an attempt to show a wide range of personality types, with some dragons who are more genuine and honest about their descriptions of themselves than others. Once a dragon date is selected, their attributes are revealed, letting you know how compatible you actually are, which determines the color of the dice you use, and subsequently the ratio of hearts to flames on those dice. Now, you follow that up by drawing a location card, which can have additional effects like adding to your dice pool or allowing you to reroll in certain circumstances, adding a little more variability to the outcome of each turn. Now, the dice rolling happens similarly to the way it happens in Bang the Dice game, where you want the best possible outcome across 3 rolls. Now, rolling 3 of the wrong thing is going to end your turn prematurely, but you can always choose to stop rolling whenever you want and go with what you have. In Cindr, this means rolling as many hearts as you can and avoiding rolling flames. Getting through the second part of the date, which is the second roll without failure, allows you to take that dragon, keep them as a companion in your dating circle, and might give you a bonus or a special ability to use later on. Getting burned on a date results in you getting a second chance card, with the severity of the failure determining the strength of the card that you get, making failed dates feel a little less painful. This pain mitigation mechanic was actually something inspired by another Smirk&Dagger game, Sutaku. In Sutaku, which is a dice stacking push your luck game, anytime you fail on your turn, you get a challenge card, and that challenge card allows you to make your opponent's turns just a little bit more difficult. This works as a very simple catch-up mechanic, and in Cindr the effect is very similar, even if the second chance cards are actually cards that only benefit you as a player when you play them. Now, when I asked the team about which part of the design process was the most challenging and which made them feel the most clever, surprisingly, the answer was based around the same idea. Now, Ben talked about the amount of mathematical calculation and balancing required to make 3 distinct viable strategies that were made to resemble real-world relationship structures. If you're only interested in finding one super compatible dragon and just dating them over and over again, you can do that. If you would rather find a few dragon mates and try to take it to the next level with all of them, you can certainly do that too. You can also just meet up with as many dragon friends as possible, not really take anything to the next level, and you'll still have a chance to win the game. The work that went into designing Cindr certainly seems to connect players with their own dating life and experiences, and the team was super pleased at how all these ideas came together and turned into the game we have in front of us today. If you didn't already know, Cindr is live right now on Kickstarter, so if you have a dragon dating itch that you need to scratch, head on over to the link in the description below. Again, I'm Omari Akil. Thank you for joining me today as we did the breakdown of Cindr, and brought to you by Tabletop Backer Party. Hope to see you soon.